With Cadwork V30, we have access to new ways of managing nesting groups. Here we have several panels using the same material and thickness. So this means that by default, they will be placed in the same nesting group. Here we open the nesting manager and we go to the panel tab. We'll see that there is only one, or they are grouped in the same proposition here. So we could select them and then create a nesting group from this selection, as we can see here. You can also choose to select directly in your 3D interface and group the element as you wish. You can also use other means, such as the display filter, to select and group your element accordingly. If we create a group with every single element inside, there is something important here about the name. It's automatically generated according to the material and the thickness of the element. It means that if we keep these default values as the name, as soon as we change the material information or thickness of element within this group, a new group will be generated automatically with updated values, so new material information and new thickness. Here it's important to know that if you change this value manually, this won't be happening and you will have simply an index after the name. So here, as we can see, using the bubble help or the status icon, we can see that everything has been nested, and we can see here the name according to the thickness and material. If now we come back in 3D and select some of these elements to change their material. So we'll keep the nesting data and then ask to change here the material. As you can see here, this material has the same name, but actually has more information such as the grade, composition, and quality. This means that those will be considered to be different material also in the nesting manager. So here, as you can see directly, we can see that a new nesting group has been generated according to the new name, material values, and the thickness. If you come in the nesting manager, we'll see here directly that this group is available, and next to it you will have a warning sign warning you that this was built automatically due to material change. This warning will disappear as soon as you enter the nesting module and exit it. You don't need to do anything, it's simply for you to make sure that you saw this information. Now, if we go to the tab Others, all the groups could be done automatically, meaning that you don't need to do them manually as we just did, but using specific attributes, visible panel will be placed in automatically generated nesting groups. So here, for example, it will create one group for each material and thickness combination. So as we just saw, there was only one group generated. And here we can take one attribute from the left column and add it to the right one. It means that this attribute will also be considered in the grouping. As you can see, each time you add an attribute, it comes with a prefix, meaning that you can use this value also to be added to the name. So you can organize them as you'd like. You can even add text information in this upper area and it will be kept in your name. Now what has changed in V30 is the ability to actually sort according to this specific attribute that you've added, meaning as soon as the element no longer obey this rule, meaning that this value for this attribute has changed, it will be removed from the group and a new group will therefore be generated. So here, as you can see, we have 4 different groups based on each group that was actually assigned to the elements. As soon as this sorting option has been added, first you will have this icon available next to the name, and if you hover the mouse on top, you will see actually what value is being used. You can also find this information in the nesting settings on the bottom right side when selecting the group. So you can of course clear this option or even add new criteria. To add this criteria, you will first need to select the attribute, and if all the values or if all the elements from this group are using the same value, here you will be able to select it. But if there is discrepancy for this value among the same group, you will not be able to use that value in this group. So you would need to take it into account when creating the group at first. So here, as you can see, different names in the same group, so you cannot actually change these settings. This means that if we were to change the values for these attributes of elements that have already been grouped in nesting volumes, new nesting groups will actually be generated, and this element will be placed in those ones. So if we would select this one and change the group, we will see when we go back to the nesting manager that a new group has been generated, and as you can see, the name has been updated accordingly. Here, even though there is a compatible group for this one, it won't be added to this one by default. If you would like to do so, you would need to go in this newly generated group, select the element, and go to Modify Nesting Group here at the bottom of the right side menu. And here you have all compatible groups. The groups that you see here are compatible according to material and thickness. So if additional sorting is to be taken into account, you will be warned when you click on a therefore not compatible nesting group. And if we try in this one, for example, we will be warned here at the bottom that there is a mismatch of attribute. So here let's send it to the proper nesting group with the same group, and here we go. So here, using the tab at the bottom, we can see that this element was properly moved. And we can now delete the empty group. As we can see here, the information is also available for beams and will work exactly the same way. I hope that you will find this new sorting beneficial, and see you soon.